I mean, seriously.
And who came up with that? You
we were doing some research on it.
You
'cause
just did some
we were,
research.
I mean, like doing like Japanese architecture and stuff, and like Japanese. We were going to try to do some more Japanese gardens, that kind of stuff. And you kind of got into it, and I always thought that was just fascinating because if you were looking at the Smoky Valley, the northeast entrance is right about Marymount and our place.
And then that's where, you know, of course, the devil's equated with fire a lot of times, or the burning in hell and that sort of thing. So,
Which I'm not really superstitious per se, but that kind of gets you the yips.
Kind of start thinking a little bit. Yeah. Well, let's maybe jump back and even talk about that on the air, although it'll be on the videos.
Sure.
So, Paul, you ready to go again?
Yep.
We're going to go 8. Drink.
Good call.
Welcome back, listeners. This is Joan with the Joan Jerkovich Show on 910 KINA, wrapping up our conversation with Dr. Boo Hodges, and he wants to talk to us about some Japanese curse that has some relevance to possibly how his house did even light on fire. So tell us about that.
Well, you know, it's really interesting. If you look, we did a lot of research on the site, and way back, right after Salina was made, a lot of land in this area was owned by William Phillips and the founder of Salina. Because part of Salina was he was selling real estate, so he got some good portions for himself. And there was a military. His house was actually a military academy up there on the hill where Mount Barbara is. And actually, if you look at Mount Barbara, it's named for Saint Barbara, who was actually her executioner was killed by lightning, which we thought was kind of cool. But anyway,
you have done your research.
Oh yeah, it was kind of neat. But it's like the house that was built there got hit by lightning and burned down. And the woman, William Phillips' wife, who lived there, moved back to Washington D.C. And about a few years later, she burned to death. She had a candle set her nightgown on fire, and she burned to death. And then, of course, we had the burning death in the house in the early 70s. So, you know, we kind of were wondering what's going, you know, kind of interesting stuff about the fire curse, if there is a fire curse.
If there is.
Well, so, and we were doing the research because, you know, basically prairie-style homes look a lot, were based on our Japanese architecture, and we were doing some studying on maybe doing Japanese gardens and make it look more Japanese. And, you know, if you look at Japanese theology, they believe that in every valley, like in Japan, where the devil would enter the valley would be through the northeast corner. And they call it Kimon, or Kimon. And, you know, if you really look at the Smoky Valley, which from our house, you can see clear down the valley. It's really amazing. But that house basically sits kind of in the northeast corner of it. And so, you know, I mean, you could make some statements there about, you know, maybe that's why there's been some fire problems.
Now, is there some significance to the actual northeast corner of the house you live in? Did
Fire didn't start there.
It didn't start there, darn.
Yeah, I know. No, it started
really
in the west.
figured out.
It started kind of in the southwestern corner, so I can't.
Which was sort of in her bedroom where she was.
Well, actually, no. It was the living room.
In the living room where she fell asleep.
And it burned down, and it wiped out a whole wing of the house.
Yeah, exciting.
Yeah.
So you seem very open about this. What do your friends
it's just
say?
interesting.
Does anyone
No, you know what?
look at you
I've had a bunch of people, like relatives, that won't spend the night in the house.
Oh, you have?
Oh yeah, they won't do it.
So they're just a little spooked out, even though you guys seem real comfortable. Your
But they're
kids
not.
feel
And
comfortable,
it's cool.
and they're not.
No.
So what do you think that comes from?
I don't know. You know,
Why are you you and your family
well,
not
I don't
afraid
know,
that
because
other
it's a
people are?
really nice house, and we really like it. We've had fun in it, and it's historically really cool, and we've done a lot of cool restoration to it, and I think basically if there is anything to it, I mean, I will say this though, we did have that priest go out there and bless that house. I mean, he worked hard.
Yes.
He worked hard.
Yes.
We used a lot of holy water, and he was even down in the basement throwing the crawl spaces, which I thought was hilarious. I mean, his old father Hatfield, he used to be over at Christ Cathedral. He was hilarious, but he's like, no, we're not leaving anything. And that lamp did burn a couple months later and didn't burn the house up. So I thought, hey, good job.
So he used the holy water, and there was a lamp that kind of had electrical spark.
It shorted out and burned pretty good, but it didn't catch anything on fire. That was cool.
Now, how many years ago did you have that? You think you need to?
Oh, that was like, well, I don't know. You know, how long does the house wasn't work?
I don't know.
Right?
That's right. We need to do some.
But we have really good smoke.
Wikipedia
We have
can
great
tell
fire
us.
alarms and good smoke detectors all over the house. So
exactly.
I figure, we do what we can do, right?
You know.
Well, we had a house next to it burned up in '95.
Next to this house?
Yeah, the one halfway down the hill. I don't. There used to be one that looked like. You may not have been in Salina at that time.
I'm not sure. I don't
It looked like
remember
a
that.
Colorado mountain home they built later. I think it was built in the mid '70s, and it burned down about '94.
Now, no hauntings in that house that you know of or have heard of from anyone?
No, I mean it's not there anymore. It got destroyed by fire. It was electrical fire.
Right.
So really, that would be, actually, I'd forgot about that. That's like the, third, and no fatalities on that one.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the third fire in that area, so I don't know.
Have you ever taken any pictures in the house that you thought there was some strange, like orb or something that showed up?
No.
Because a lot of times photography
Yeah, I
shows
know what you're
things,
talking about.
whether that's real or not, or just a
No, I mean, we've,
flash.
every picture we've taken, they've been pretty good.
Okay.
And we haven't had any video that we saw some shadowy figure in the backside. I don't know. But.
And no kids on sleepovers had something weird happen to them?
No, and we had.
Did your kids have friends over?
Yeah, and we did fencing camp. We had fencers came in from all over the country, and I mean, they slept up on third floor, which is kind of windy. I mean, it's the old billiard room, and it's a really cool place we have like a couple of bunk beds up there, and you can sleep like 4 kids up there. They used to have a ball up there, so I don't. But we didn't go into detail about what happened in the house.
Yeah, you wouldn't want
either,
to spook them out.
Right,
Have,
I mean,
if you're trying to help the club by
Yeah.
having them stay
Well, and I
in the
will
house,
say
you don't
this,
want to have to send them to a hotel.
lightning storms, when they come in from the southwest, right of the valley, are very theatrical up there. Because I mean, we've been hit by lightning a bunch of times. So we got
Well,
pretty
you're just
lightning
at the very
rods.
top. Yeah.
Oh, and I'm telling you, we get hit.
The peak.
We've gotten hit, I think, 3 times in 20 years. Where there was no doubt you got hit too. And that's kind of scary, I mean, and that's a scary place just because of the wind and the updrafts and all that stuff.
Have you ever thought about having an actual paranormal investigation team come in?
Never really thought
I
about
happen
it.
to know somebody who does that.
Not a problem.
And they do voice recordings. In fact, I've
Cool.
got another person I'm going to talk to who they got on video where
Yeah.
she had an antique store, had a haunting. They came in. She sat on the couch, and they have the voice recording of the ghost saying, "Don't sit on my couch."
Really?
And, yeah,
That's cool.
Yeah, and then
No, I mean, we wouldn't be opposed to it.
yeah,
We're just, I mean, she's been really easy to live with. So
yeah. Have you ever also heard that sometimes they'll say, "Tell Helen to go home, go to the light"? Maybe you don't want to
Ooh,
get rid
I've
of
not
her.
done that.
I've heard about that, where
Well, that's
people
cool.
that say that they're kind of like trapped in this nether
Yeah,
world, and
yeah.
they're supposed to go to the light
Right.
or heaven
That's
above,
interesting,
whatever. And if you're ever at the point of tired of losing your things for 3 weeks.
Melissa's
Helen
always real
knows
front
how to
about it.
go
She just
home.
says, Helen, give it back, and she does. So I think she gets along pretty well. I think she likes it.
Yeah,
Now, maybe there'd be
that's
somebody living there
probably
that she
true.
doesn't like.
Yes.
I don't
yes.
know, but it's like, she obviously liked my kids, because my kids never had any problems living there.
So what do you say she liked you? She still took your stuff, but
But she
what?
gave it back,
she
and
gave it
really
back.
didn't do anything to scare us or
Yeah.
anything,
Now, have you ever had any housekeepers or anyone who's worked
Oh, yeah, we have
in your
house.
house
We
that
have, he
have
sits there all
seen
the
or
time.
heard anything?
Sleeps
or-
like a baby.
Who's that?
John Dorsey,
You have a
friend of ours. Yeah,
friend of
he
ours.
stays at our house a lot.
He stays a
whenever, yeah.
lot, yeah, and so he hasn't ever.
John
had
has
any-
no problems, sleeps great.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
Well, how fun! I think we need to get a paranormal
Sure.
investigation team.
I
in
have no
there.
problem with
I
that
think
at
that
all.
would be fun. I want
Sure.
to come see the place too.
Yeah,
I want
seriously,
to
that'd
talk
be
to
fun.
Helen. So
We'll bring George too.
yeah, we will.
We got some of George's. We have
high-powered
some of
camera.
George's pictures hanging up. in
Well,
our house,
good,
too,
good.
so that's
I
cool.
hope Helen likes those too.
So far, we haven't burned.
Well, thank you so much for coming in,
You bet,
Dr.
you bet.
Hodges.
Joan, thanks for
Been
thanks for
fun.
asking. That's
Yeah,
fun.
well, this is the Joan with the Joan Jerkovich Show, and be sure to go to joanjerkovich.com for video outtakes and links to iTunes and my blog. And thanks for joining me today for innovative talk radio that surprises, entertains, and sometimes informs you. The Joan Jerkovich Show, 9 a.m. Saturdays on 910 KINA Salina.
Sweet.
And I can edit some of that better.
Sweet. Way to
Well,
go.
it was fun. Thank you.
Enjoy.